Hey listeners, you're listening to the Midnight Readers podcast. Grab some tea, a midnight snack, and cuddle up in bed as we dive deep into today's most popular fantasies, sci-fis, and mysteries. We're your hosts. I'm Lily.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Christy.
This season, we're stepping into 3 standalone worlds. Right now, we're diving into a dark academia mystery filled with obsession, ambition, and just a little bit of murder. That's right, grab your scripts and memorize your alibis. We're headed to Dellicker Classic Conservatory.
7 actors, 1 stage, and absolutely no sense of boundaries between fiction and reality, just like this podcast. Welcome to a world of rivalries, rehearsals, and the kind of ambition that doesn't just crave the spotlight, it kills for it.
In this episode, we'll be discussing If We Were Villains, Act 4, where the group's lives begin to fracture as roles are reversed and new clues are unveiled.
Before we get into it, this is your warning for major spoilers ahead. This includes all 3 standalone novels we'll be covering this season, and any fan discussions we find online. We're also avid fans of the Moss universe and might accidentally let spoilers slip for other popular romantasy book series as well. Sorry in advance. Like the books, this podcast is rated R, so be warned.
Also, a friendly reminder to please like, subscribe, and follow. You can find us on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you want some bonus content and behind-the-scenes chaos, join our growing community on Patreon.
All right, well, we come back to Act 4, which is, I think, our shortest act in the book.
Yep.
Just like last time, we ended with a very, let's say, emotionally charged scene from James and Oliver. At least their relationship is starting to take a interesting turn. We open the prologue with Oliver talking to Colbourne on the dock, and he says, back then it felt like it went on for miles. And we find out that the students nowadays have been going down to the docks even though they're not supposed to, and they've also been stealing stuff from the castle because it belonged to the group who are now infamous. Stuff like old books, costume pieces, photos. They also apparently like to scribble out Oliver's face in some of the photos.
Poor Oliver.
I know, right? But there are a group of people who believe wholeheartedly that he is innocent, and they are sending letters to the school and to Oliver, and I just think it's interesting that there's a whole group of people that are like super convinced that he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, there are always people who will want to believe that somebody is innocent regardless of evidence, but I don't understand how, at this point at least, they could ever get a conviction.
Right. I think, honestly, I don't remember how they end up with a conviction at the end. I think you'll see.
I think he would have to confess, but
what leads to that is the question, you know?
But you're assuming that it was based on Richard's murder.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Now, we do find out from Oliver that up until Christmas, they were, at least he thinks that things were going okay, that they were able to pretend that everything was going kind of okay and that they would be all right. But at that point, at the Christmas mask, everything just splintered. And this is what we see in Act 4 as we start to see the unraveling of everyone's characters and how they turn to different people and different things to make themselves feel better. He also kind of foreshadows what happens in Act 4 when he says to Colbourne that he does blame Shakespeare for what happened here, but mostly because a good actor doesn't just say the words, he feels them. And he says, imagine having all of your own thoughts and feelings tangled up with all the thoughts and feelings of a whole other person. It can be hard sometimes to sort out which is which. And I think that's definitely foreshadowing with what happens in this act.
Oh yeah, you pretend to be somebody for so long, you're gonna forget who you are.
It at least gets confusing.
I think a lot of people who mask
Yeah.
struggle with that kind of thing.
That's true.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought one of the statements that he made to Colbourne that was just really kind of beautiful in a sad way was he said, because I think he asked him if they were all right or something, and he said, we cracked up. but we didn't really shatter until we were all back together again.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so beautifully sad.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't think of those things. I wondered how the hell, if Oliver's family couldn't afford tuition anymore, how they were sending him home and back to school.
Yeah, I actually thought about that. I was like, think of all these trips on a plane, how expensive that would be now. I don't know.
I was like,
maybe Oliver just had something in the bank account.
Yeah, they're sending him from Chicago to Ohio, which isn't that far, right? Is it Ohio?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so it's not that far, but I think it would probably be cheaper if he just, got a car and drove up there. But,
I don't know. Maybe he's doing it with the scholarship money. I don't know. I have the same
also
thought.
flies to New York and...
Uh-huh. He goes...
whim.
He is only home for like a split hair of a second before he's like, I gotta fucking get out of here. I mean, I felt bad because his sister Leah was like, you're leaving? Where are you
Don't
going?
leave me.
Don't leave me. And he was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've felt that way at family events. Like the one person I wanted to see is leaving and now I'm stuck.
See, family events were always at our house. And so, like, I was always stuck there. Like, where was I going? I couldn't go anywhere. Just walk outside,
Yeah. When I was a kid, they were always in Atlanta. But nowadays, they're here. And I can't get away. So.
Oh, joy. Now, we do get a little bit of information. He says that we get another allusion to the fact that he has no idea where Philippa is, or even if she has parents or siblings or anything. This is an ongoing thing with Philippa, and I just really want to know why.
Yeah. Like,
why doesn't he know anything? Like, why doesn't she want to talk about it? Anyway, so he thinks to himself, my best bet is Philippa. I'm the closest with her, and she's the most stable. However, I don't know where she is or how to get there or how to contact her or anything. So he goes to Meredith.
His first thought was California, though. Just saying.
I must have missed that. That doesn't shock me. But where does he go?
He was like, I can't go to California.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where Philippa is, and Alexander is not an option, so poor Meredith is option last resort.
Oh, and you know what's sad is he treats her like that too. Like, maybe they do have some kind of spark together, and I think he has like a fondness for her, but they end up spending the whole Christmas break having sex and going out to parties, or Caleb actually throws one in Meredith's apartment, and getting drunk, and then he always goes back to her with the thought of, this just seems to be all I have to do. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Although he starts it off with, Meredith and I were being non-touchy. We were just reading books in the same room together.
Yeah.
And I was like, how long is this going to last?
Yeah. We do find out that Meredith is Jewish, but her family is not very good at being Jewish, she says.
It's like, being Catholic. People are like, I'm not very good at it.
Yeah, religion is a practice, and if you don't practice it, yeah. He does say that he waited for the guilt to come about being with Meredith. He waited after having sex with her for the guilt to come about Richard.
For Richard to show up.
Yeah.
Because he's hallucinating them. And instead, he saw James.
I would say it's not like an Edward Bella situation where he's seeing Richard somewhere. It's more like Richard is like metaphorically in the back of his mind haunting the room, metaphorically.
I don't know. He was like, I looked over in the corner and there was Richard or there was James. And I was like, are you like, maybe the drugs have gotten
maybe,
deep.
Maybe he is hallucinating. I mean, it does say the silhouette I saw on the wall belonged inexplicably to James, who had no business in that room, in my thoughts, at that moment. Which, I agree. Yeah. Why is James here?
Yeah.
I think it was more just him being dramatic.
Yeah.
The actor part.
Yeah, he's
Just, he's being dramatic.
Yeah.
Such a boy.
I mean, I think he thinks that he's playing a role that he's not, you know? Like, he thinks that Richard's going to be the one that is, like, popping up in his head when, in reality, he's lying to himself because James is the one he thinks of.
Makes me wonder, like, what's he thinking about during sex? Because,
I think Oliver could be sexually attracted to Meredith. Otherwise, how would this work out? You know, I think that he is attracted to her at least, but
I think it's a role.
I don't know. Maybe.
I think that he could be sexually attracted to her, of course, but I also know that there are some husbands who marry their wives and then also think of other people.
Yeah.
Despite, being sexually attracted to their wife.
We don't hear that from Oliver, but also Oliver is in deep denial about everything right now, so possible. He does say, oh wait, before I get there, Meredith says they should do a scene together when they're like having the conversation about their future and they're talking about the upcoming semester, and she's like, we should do a scene together. And I'm thinking to myself, this is the only way you guys know how to intimately bond besides sex. Is theater.
Yeah. They hardly ever talk about anything else. It's the only thing that they have in common.
Mm-hmm. When they tried to talk about other things, it was like the saddest date ever. So sad.
And he's absolutely using her. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that she's using him too, but he is definitely using her.
Definitely. He says, I told myself that the jealous dismay that seized me during the Christmas mask was merely a moment of insanity, a side effect of manipulative theater magic. But as I stood there in the tower with his shadow in the room, I felt it coming creeping slowly back again. I went unsteadily down the stairs and spent one more night with Meredith, the only cure I could think of.
After leaving the airport tag at the end of his bed, I was like, James is going to find this, and I'm pretty sure that's why he's mad this entire act.
I'm sure. I mean, Oliver's running off to Meredith every second, and even saying it was the only cure I could think of. Cure for what, Oliver? Cure for what?
Yeah.
It does make me question, like, is he in denial of his feelings for James because it's a gay thing, or is it because James is his friend?
Yeah. Because there's Alexander, and they don't seem to have a problem with him at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that Oliver's parents seem like the type that would have an issue with their son being gay.
Mm-hmm.
But
for sure.
I don't think Oliver would have a problem with it. I don't know. I think it's more of a friend thing.
Because he's like angry at it. Like once he's like holding Meredith in his arms and he's thinking about James, and he's like angry that he's thinking about James. It's just like, why is this bothering him? Is it because he really wants to be someone who ends up with Meredith and he's not being that person?
Could be. It could also be he knows that James and him will never end up together. So, you never want to fall in love with someone you have no chance with.
I think he just doesn't know who he is. And I think that's what's making him angry.
Mm-hmm.
I think in his mind, he feels like everybody else at least has some sense of who they are, and he doesn't.
Oh, I love that take. I mean, it's a good point. It's like, at the beginning of this book, all of them have a really clear role except for him and Philippa. And him and Philippa fill in the roles where everything is lacking. So I definitely think you're onto something. Like, he's struggling with who he is in some way. From there, so we get back to Delacour after his party stint in New York with Meredith. They get back and they find out that auditions are going to be held for King Lear, which is apparently unheard of. They have never done King Lear in the 50 years that Delacour has been open, and the group is very confused by this.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure the only thing I know about King Lear is, isn't it about his descent into madness? Like,
yeah, kind of, yeah. I don't know much either. I did end up looking up the casting choices and the characters. I tried to understand why Philippa and Oliver we're having this conversation. What happens in this scene is they all do their auditions for King Lear, and then Philippa and Oliver come back to the Boar's Head like normal, like they usually do, and wait for the others to finish their auditions so they can all see the casting together. Philippa is talking to Oliver about it, and Oliver says that he guesses Wren will be Cordelia, Philippa and Meredith will be Regan, maybe Regan, and Goneril. Oliver will be Albany, or Albany, depending on where you're from in the US. James is going to be Edgar, and Alexander will be Edmund. That's Oliver's guesses, and Philippa says that she's not so sure because she saw James giving an audition that was very, sinister and
scary.
Yeah, she says that he was scary. He ended up auditioning for Richard, I'm totally gonna fuck this name up, Plantagenet, maybe? I'm assuming it's French. It could be Plantagenet. That sounds wrong, though. From Henry VI, which is the main antagonist of that play. So James, it sounds like he's auditioning for a role that would have been Richard's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, at least he's, branching out a little bit. But yeah, I think this is also partly why I think James is the one that did something to Richard, is because he kind of sees himself as the villain now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
I think it's interesting that Philippa is the one to push back and be like, James is auditioning with this character. I don't think that we're going to get the casting that you think. And Oliver says, good for him. Good. He wanted to branch out. Oliver immediately being like, great, I'm so happy for him. It's just like, at least he's consistent with James.
Yeah.
I was going back and forth to see the original and then how they ended up.
Almost all of...
Because I know the girls were pretty much the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because we can't change the girls' role. Not at all.
No.
Right. I felt like for James, I don't know, just something is off. Something doesn't feel like it's adding up, or we don't know all the information.
Yeah.
Because even between that and how Wren is acting, like after her audition, where she goes back and goes to bed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get that's your cousin, but I mean, come on. They weren't.
Wren completely becomes a shut-in.
Yeah. And unless there was something else there that we don't know, that just seems very odd to me. I mean, they weren't that close.
Yeah.
She said that they were, though. They were like siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you never saw that. You never saw anything between them that where there was anything warm between them. It was just more like, I mean, if
there was never anything warm between Meredith and Richard, and yet they are considered close.
Well, I'm hoping nothing like that was with Richard and Wren, but
that's not what I meant.
But that creates
I'm just
the
saying,
illusion.
He's not a warm person.
He's not. But for Wren, for the cousin, it just didn't make sense that she's that upset, that she is beside herself, that she's sleeping all the time when there never seemed to be any connection between them. Like you never saw an interaction with them that was like warm or connected or anything. Nothing.
So there was definitely few. There's few connections on the book or on the page. I mean, yeah.
It may be that she's not necessarily upset about Richard's death and just upset by the whole situation, trauma of it. I mean, finding anybody with their face beaten in and then allowing them to drown.
Yeah.
Can be traumatizing. So she may just be experiencing that from the experience, not necessarily the person.
True.
Yeah. But the roles that are switched up are James, Oliver, and Alexander, which Alexander is completely sidelined. He becomes the fool in this case. Oliver gets Edgar in this play, which is the older brother of Edmund, who is played by James. And in King Lear, they're kind of opposing factors against one another. I think Edmund, I haven't read the play, so someone feel free to correct me, but Edmund is vying for Edgar's birthright and the stuff that he would end up inheriting from their father. And so they end up pitted against each other in these roles, which is different from previous plays where they usually play the sidekick and the hero. Yeah. Which is weird, because why would Gwendolyn and Frederick do that? And Frederick is cast as King Lear because we don't have a Richard to play the domineering character. And I think Camilo is
Albany, or
yes, Albany, or
however that
however
name is
you
pronounced.
Want to say that name. Yeah, we're too southern to say it correctly. Albany. I don't know.
I don't know if Richard would have played King Lear, because they said that the big issue about it was getting a
he's not
20-something. Yeah, getting a 20-something to play the part.
Yeah, Richard might have played Edmund, or I'm not even sure who else he would play. Probably just Edmund. But yeah, either way, the role of King Lear is given to Frederick, which is weird to me. It's weird that they decided to do this play when the majority of their cast won't fit the roles that are the titular roles. You know what I mean? I just thought that was odd.
Is that on purpose?
I don't know. I do think that them choosing to do King Lear has to be for a reason. And my thoughts are, I was trying to look this up and understand what we're supposed to get out of the King Lear choice. And I feel like it's because King Lear, the story is based on like one decision that leads to like the descent, all of the chaos, all of the bad things that happen in the story. So my idea is like it's supposed to reflect their decision to let Richard die, and how it unravels in their lives.
Do you think that's...
But I don't know why Gwendolyn would choose that.
That's what I was like, for Gwendolyn, why? Like, do you think she's trying to crack them up?
I don't know. Like, it does make you question, because we see what happens later with Gwendolyn and Meredith and James when they're practicing their scene,
because
their
they
kissing
can't be
scene.
intimate.
That scene is so gross to me. It's so gross to me because Gwendolyn is using, I don't know, she's kind of going for a weird angle, I think, in terms of their roles to one another. Like, Gwendolyn is a professor. These are students, and she's talking to them about hate sex and saying, look at her, she's beautiful. Take in how beautiful she is. Look at him, he's clearly attractive, and you want him to be attracted to you. Like, using their feelings and their personal lives against them in the weirdest, grossest way.
Yeah. My thing is, like, even when somebody is casting movies, if they cast one role, they put the love interest with them, the potential love interest with them, to see if they have chemistry. And if they don't, it doesn't matter how good of an actor that person is, they're not right for the role.
It all depends, though. That's not always the case. And a lot of it depends on if one of the actors has some sort of say in who they want. But that's not always the case. Something like this could 100% happen, and does every day for that type of thing, because you have, whether it's teacher, whether it's, directors that will use your own personal like story or feelings or things like that against you in order to get you to feel something. And I think for actors on the flip side, for what Gwendolyn does, she's also hitting at a point for them for acting of, you need to be able to tap into any character and inhabit that character. And so I think she taps into that part of their ego. And then that's what they react from, into like, okay, I can be this character. I can be this person because I can't not do that. And I think Gwendolyn understands that. And she's a little fucking scary in that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that their personal feelings aren't used against them or people aren't pushed to do that role, but there is a natural chemistry that you can see as an audience member between two people. And if it's not there, there is no forcing it.
Yeah. But I think Christy is right that, like, sometimes there's no choosing. Like, sometimes this is what has to happen.
Yeah, and they generally get critiqued on, like, criticized pretty heavily. Like, the main characters didn't have any chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point, is that Gwendolyn's trying to teach them that, like, you have to be able to work through that. Like, your feelings can be helpful to you, but they can also stall you. So it's like, she's trying to help them work through it, but in the scene, it's icky. It's gross.
Yeah.
I wondered what you were thinking about that, Christy, because, like, you have the most experience between the three of us in this world. So I'm always thinking about, like, what does Christy think about this?
I have to say this, and I meant to look it up, if this author has had any experience in this world, because, I mean, damn, she gets a lot of this, like, really dead on.
She seems to really get it.
Yeah, between what actors go through, but also how they feel about themselves, how they react with the world, how they use acting as a way to communicate, because a lot of times they don't understand themselves very well. So, yeah, I mean, I felt like the scene was, definitely a legit scene that happens. But
going back to scene 2, sorry, I skipped ahead a little bit. After they find out their roles in King Lear, they kind of wait around to see if James and Alexander and Ren are going to join them at the Boar's Head, but they kind of give up on it pretty quickly because they know that it's unlikely. We also find out that Alexander has not been around in general lately, and James is like said he was going to go take a walk.
He's disappearing at night too.
Yeah,
I'm wondering where he's going. Like,
I also wonder that. Maybe down to the dock.
Possibly.
Reminiscing. We also find out... Oh, go ahead.
Quick question on this particular scene that I did have and I forgot about. Mm-hmm. Is it this particular play, or is it like some later one that is when they have the scouts come in?
I think it's going to be King Lear. I know she said that it was in the spring. So in this case, I think it would end up being King Lear. But So that begs the question then, why would they take such an important part if scouts are going to be there and give that to one of the staff? Yeah. And Alexander is there playing the fool. I know. They gave him the fool role, which is really, I mean, Oliver remarks, he's like, Alexander's going to be upset. And he was like, now me, on the other hand, I'm actually very thrilled that I got the role of Edgar, because Oliver doesn't usually have leading roles like that. And if he does, it's like in support of another leading role, right? Yeah. So this is huge for Oliver, and James also got what he wanted, in which he's doing something new. So on one hand, it's great. And on the other hand, it's not good. Like, Alexander's role is completely pushed to the side. And that makes me wonder why they would do that. What's their end goal here? Yeah. Is it to
fuck with them?
Yeah. It feels that way.
Yeah.
I mean, we learn in this same scene that Meredith says something like, well, didn't Gwendolyn say when you enter the theater, there's 3 things you have to leave at the door: dignity, modesty, and personal space. And Philippa goes, personal space? I thought she said personal pride. And Oliver goes, she told me self-doubt. So Gwendolyn's been fucking with them.
Yeah. Since changed the beginning. It for every person. I wonder what she said to Richard.
I wonder that too. Like,
nothing.
I feel like his would have to be pride. Yeah, I don't know.
What?
Nothing. I don't think she would have.
She thought he was perfect.
Probably.
Ugh. Who knows? I feel like his would have to be pride. My first thought was, why was Philippa's personal pride? Like, what?
Because she is never given a female role.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't think she cares, though.
Yeah.
I think she knows exactly who she is, and I don't know why the fuck she is there. I really don't.
Agreed. Yeah. I like that Philippa says, well, this explains a lot. Like, yeah. Like, oh, Gwendolyn's been fucking with us this whole time. I do agree that I don't know why she's there. She seems to see through everything. She immediately understands what's going on every time.
Yeah.
When she's in a scene, she's telling the truth. You know what I mean? Like, she knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
is it the next scene in which Oliver cleans the fireplace? Speaking of Philippa.
Yes. Yeah.
I
So
did think it was a little weird because he's like telling the story to Colbourne. So why not skip over the parts in which Colbourne already knows this is how it interacted?
maybe because he's telling him what is going on in his head while he's recounting it. Like, he's doing the full story and being like, while we were having this conversation, I was doing this in my head and also freaking out and panicking because I had just discovered something.
Yeah. Which he is like, he cleans the fireplace and he finds his bloody shirt and it said that it had a bright red stain that he automatically knew was blood. And I know you're going to be like, Brittany, you're being like too technical, but blood does not dry red. It dries brown.
Right.
It bothered me. I was like, no. It's a dark, rusty, brownish color.
Mm-hmm.
But that was pretty much all I had to say. Was like, ugh. That was it takes me out of the story whenever I read something like that, and I'm just like, no. But that's just me being me. Sorry.
I mean,
go ahead.
I can't remember what color the cloth was. If it was a white cloth, isn't it possible that it could have dried red?
Oxidation.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the point is that it's suspicious.
Well, it also could be, as kind of a middle ground to that, it could also be him being dramatic in finding it and that it is actually a brown color, but in his mind, he is seeing it as a bright red, bloody, thing.
Well, then, Oliver, I need to slap some sense into you because you're remembering shit wrong and it's screwing up. No, it's not screwing up. But we do have bad memories, but it's just, it could, when blood dries, it doesn't necessarily look like blood. It could be a number of things.
Yeah.
And so for him to be like, it's a bright red, automatic, no, it's blood. I was just like, this has also been in the fireplace and is covered in soot. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, just another theory there for what it could be in saying that, because blood can look like poop once it dries. It was a torn piece, and Richard could have gone out to the woods and had to go to the bathroom and torn a piece of his shirt and then put it in the fireplace. Just saying.
There was no other option. He just had to shit in the woods.
Right, like a bear.
Oh my God.
Just saying.
Oh, man.
Now, would that move the story forward, guys?
It would if it was my story.
Oh my God.
My thing, though, is the police did come and they were like, let's go check around and whatnot. And I know this, I have no experience with like actual murder in real life, but in my TV shows, the police always check the fireplace. Like if it had been obvious that a fire had been burning, they were checking it.
Right. Right.
It's like Law and Order.
I watch a lot of
need to remind
murder.
you. I need to remind you. Not only is this a book,
I read a lot of murder too.
but also police are not good at their job. Okay?
They are in my books.
And these are rich kids too.
Sometimes.
So they would come in, look around, and then be like, all right, we're good.
I just think you guys are not giving the book enough credit.
Wait, you guys. How did I get lumped in with Brittany?
Thanks, Christy. Don't lump me in with her. It's just when a book is set in reality, if it doesn't follow certain things, that if it doesn't like the blood, if you're an author, you should do research first, because it's going to take me out of the story. If this was a fantasy world, then yeah, that blood could dry bright red. Who knows what kind of creature you are?
I do think this is just a nitpicky thing.
It is. It is for me, but it's something that disturbs my reading experience as a reader, is that I need simple things like this to follow reality if it's going to be set in reality.
Right. I don't.
See, I do not.
Yeah. I don't either.
I don't at all. You show me a scrap with that on it, and I think Richard shit in the woods.
Oh my God.
The crazier, the better.
Now, if Colbourne had found that...
This is why I read fantasy.
Now, if Colbourne had found that, what would he think? Wait, but I do have to question. When was Philippa using the fireplace? Was it after they searched the castle the first time?
I thought it was that
that's
night.
A good point.
It's after the funeral.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they searched the castle before the funeral.
Yeah, okay. So I'll give Colbourne a pass for not searching the fireplace. He may have.
However, it wasn't the right color.
It was not the right color.
It was not the right color. So he ends up shoving it in his pocket. And while he's talking to Colbourne, he's like holding it in his pocket the whole time, trying to hide it. It does make me think, if he's thinking that Philippa is maybe questionable now, his first thought is to cover it up, is to be like, oh, gotta protect that, you know what I mean? And I know it's because they all agreed to let Richard die, but if he really thought that something happened to Richard, seems like he would still cover it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, some people in books that I've read and TV shows get this tendency to, I've already lost one friend, I can't lose another.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they really thought of Richard as a friend, more of a hindrance.
They did for a while.
Yeah.
And then he fucked it up, and that's why they let him die.
Damn.
But at some point, they lost a friendship.
Yes, that is true. Colbourne asks him a bunch of questions about, being an actor and whatnot. And then he says, does it make you happy? And Oliver is like, well, pretty much everything in my life just works up to getting on stage and having that rush of being an actor. And that's how I feel. Maybe not happy, but, something. And
addicted.
Yeah. Colbourne's like, that's a really good description of addiction.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking when I was reading it before he, blatantly said it. I was like, oh, so I have read books before and then, jonesed for the next story. And I was like, so I'm addicted to books, stories, stuff like that. And apparently, Oliver and friends are addicted to acting.
Theater. Yeah. Acting.
Theater. Being on stage.
And Colbourne also says that things are not adding up and that he's still wondering what happened to Richard. He can't stop thinking about it. And mathematically, it doesn't make sense. And Oliver is like, well, you can't quantify humanity. People are passionate and flawed and fallible. They make mistakes. Their memories fade. Their eyes deceive them. Or sometimes they drink too much and they fall in the lake.
He also says that he was not good at math.
Yeah, which relatable. Same here.
Yeah, I was like, maybe that's why I hate poetry.
Yeah. Literally a few weeks ago, my boss sent me, he was like, can you double check my math on this? And I was like, you're sending this to me? Like, huh?
Nice.
Why? I'll look over it, but I don't think I'm going to help you here. I do think that Oliver saying that at the end makes him look a little suspicious.
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
Although I did get the sense, at least Oliver seemed to get the sense that Colbourne didn't find him suspicious and might even be able to talk him into revealing the truth. Like he might be an ally in this.
Mm-hmm. But it does make Oliver look like he knows something.
Yeah.
Which she does, but...
When he runs out with that, after Colbourne leaves, when he runs out with that cloth, I was like, if Colbourne was smart, he would have just hid
waited.
And waited and then followed him and would have seen Oliver doing some really funky, suspicious things and
To be fair, he did run to the building he had to be at anyway, which it just depends on how far Colbourne would go to, like, follow him in there. Like, he could just follow him to the building and then not really get that far. He would just be like, oh, he went to class.
Yeah.
Or he could follow him into the Undercroft, which is where Oliver goes to hide the rag.
Yeah.
Do we know that he didn't follow him?
We don't know. As of yet, it doesn't seem like he did, but we don't know.
And as you said, Lily, the police are terrible at their jobs.
I mean, let's be honest.
Blatantly how he leaves it with where he puts the rag. Somebody finds it. Because the way he makes it sound is like something to the effect of, I thought that nobody would ever find it. I thought this would be a safe place. And so I feel like that was really alluding to the fact that at some point somebody finds it, which is why I thought Colbourne may have followed him and seen where he put it.
Yeah. And it's going to have his DNA on it because he said he sweated through it.
Right. Mm-hmm. But that also could land you in jail for maybe 10 years on a murder.
Tampering with...
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was going to say tampering with evidence, but that probably wouldn't land you for 10 years. But maybe accessory after the fact?
Possibly.
Maybe. Depends on how much they think they can prove.
Yeah.
If that's the only evidence they have, then it's like, possibly.
Yeah. Although when he was like, I'm not going to put the lock back on, I was like, yeah, somebody's going to get this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The rag is a major moment. The fireplace rag is a major moment. It's the first physical evidence we have that something happened, right? Up to this point, we only have inclinations, implications, the assumption, besides Richard's crashed-in face, that something happened to him. This is the first sign we have that somebody tried to cover something up. If you remember, Alexander said that there was no blood on the dock, and that it was, like, only on Richard. This kind of implies that, like, somebody used whatever that is to clean up the blood.
But think about that fact, too. So, and again, this might be too technical, but so somebody smashes his face in with the face, there's going to be shit tons of blood all over the place.
Yeah.
Right.
But somebody would have had to have been...
Head wounds bleed a lot.
Right. And somebody would have had to have been strong enough to carry him and dump him in the lake without getting blood everywhere. On the ground, at least. But strong enough to carry him.
If it happened on the shore of the lake, maybe the water washed the blood away, though. That's what I was thinking. He was also
drunk. He could have actually fallen into the lake.
Do we believe that?
I'm not saying that's what killed him. Well, actually, it is what killed him because he drowned. But what I'm trying to say is that doesn't mean someone still could have hurt him and then he fell.
Yeah.
No?
Well, yeah, that kind of blood, I would have to think, even if he was, I mean, unless they were out in the middle of the water and they did that to his face, which I can't imagine because of how strong Richard is and how big. So if you think about it being Pip, she's not going to be able to carry him. She's not going to be able to smash his face like that with him unless he is completely incapacitated.
Right.
Yeah, that would also take out Wren and Meredith, too. Of course, Meredith, I'm pretty sure she didn't do it, seeing as we knew she was in bed with Oliver at the time.
Right. But after this, going back to our book, after he hides that rag, he goes right to practice. He gets late. He's late to practice. Apparently, he got lost under there. And he and James have their combat scene that they have to practice. And James immediately is like, where were you? And why do I get the feeling that he's like, who were you with?
Yeah, he's angry. And I'm pretty sure he found that ticket and he's been mad about it. And this is, I was certain that he's like suffering from PTSD, which I think they're all suffering from PTSD a little bit.
Yeah, not just Wren and James, like the counselor said.
Yeah. Cause like he has a reaction when he breaks Oliver's nose. They kind of make it sound like he did it on purpose, but I kind of thought maybe he just went into flight or fight mode and he fought back because he had a PTSD moment.
Yeah,
And
there's
yeah.
a weird moment right before it when Oliver is reciting his lines, and the monologue is about how Edmund's character is betraying Edgar, who Oliver is playing. And do I have those backwards? I think I got that right. And as he's saying it, James looks normal until he is like registering what's happening, and then all of a sudden he looks upset. Oliver starts calling him a traitor in the monologue, and then James, his face changes in the middle of it. So it's almost like, I don't know, almost like he starts to get upset about the wording, like he becomes more the character. He starts thinking about something. Something happens there.
I can see that. Though I thought he was pretty touchy and angry from the get-go with the whole, where were you? I was in bed with Meredith, bitch.
Definitely on the defensive, but he's like smirking and like seems to be having fun with the scene until Oliver recites his monologue.
I feel like, because when James is first introduced, he's like shiny, happy, lovely, sweet, all these like perfect quality kind of things, which makes you feel like there's something really dark underneath. And I feel like maybe we're starting to see that with James, to see his actual personality, and it's darker than he lets on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Are completely reversed here compared to what we saw at the beginning. Now, like you said, James is like horrified about what he's done. He like runs out of the theater. Oliver is sent to the infirmary.
He like immediately leaves that infirmary and goes and gets drugs from Alexander. And I'm sorry, but I would not let Alexander just add some random white powder to my drugs.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He doesn't even ask.
I'm not sure I want to smoke it, is my thought. Like, take the pills and then smoke some weed. You don't have to smoke it in the weed. I understand it's a different level of potency, but oh my God, just take the pills like normal. Stop it. If you're gonna mix your drugs, can you stop fucking with them?
Not only that, Oliver's like, yeah, and then he goes over to the drawer and adds another white powder that I didn't even know what it was. And I was just like, yeah, sure, add more. That's fine. Didn't he get upset with him for smoking cocaine?
Yes, but I also think, part of me thinks that the reason he was upset about the coke is because it was right before a performance.
Probably.
I would not, especially with those pain pills added in, I would not have let Alexander just decide to put whatever substance.
It's definitely weird. Because he's upset with Alexander, but then he also goes immediately to him for it.
I don't know. I felt like it was well in line with his character. I felt like that he's not going to be somebody that sets a boundary with somebody else, especially somebody like Alexander. So I think that whatever they deem to give him, he's going to take.
I love that observation because that's so fucking true. Oliver will not tell somebody no. He does not set boundaries. You're so fucking right about that. He just lets shit happen. I mean, honestly, him calling out Alexander about the cocaine was a big moment for him to be like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he gets upset with him, but then he doesn't address it again. He just lets it play out and then gets over it and then pretends nothing happened.
Yeah.
I mean...
Also, the school covering the whole thing up pissed me off.
Oh, yeah. For James punching him and stuff. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that they're like, lay low.
We don't need to talk about this, right?
Yeah. I do think the reason that he does this is he's really upset because it was James that hit him in the face. If it was anyone else, I feel like it would have bothered him less. Yeah. He's like, I just want to sleep for 2 days.
And the funny thing is, I also had like a moment where when Meredith comes and takes the blunt and throws it on the ground, I was like, DNA, they're watching you. They're going to get your God. DNA. But
I think you might be watching too many crime scene shows.
I think so too. Because my first thought was, you're wasting it.
Oh my God. That was my thought too. I was like, smoke the rest of it.
I also had that thought, but my first thought was, you're trying to get away with murder here.
My thought was, hey bitch, That was expensive drugs.
Right.
Which he didn't pay for.
And yeah, he's not going to get another one. Okay.
Right. That was a beautifully concocted Martha Stewart recipe for drugs.
Yes. Alexander took his time, cut that shit up beautifully, layered it. He said, the doctor is in. Come on in. I'm gonna make this for you. You're gonna feel better. And here we are, throwing it on the ground. I just can't believe the audacity of this woman.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just saying. Alexander did that out of love.
Money means nothing to her. Money never means nothing to her.
No.
Means nothing to her. So
I'm just saying.
I still was shocked that he wasn't like, hold a minute, let me grab it, and then we can go in.
Just like,
he was thinking.
Whoa.
He was thinking with the wrong head. Okay, the drugs turned off one head, and the other one came on.
Okay, I still do not feel like, I'm shocked he can get it up for her. I feel like there is no connection whatsoever. I think he is playing the highlight reel for James in order to have sex with her. I do not feel any...
The highlight reel?
Yeah.
He's thinking of how James just broke his nose and being like, all right, let's go.
Well, not that. I was thinking more of like James naked kind of thing.
I don't know. I feel like Oliver is the type that would enjoy somebody kind of, smacking him around
manhandling
a little
him.
bit. Yeah. The punch went too far, but I feel like
just jerk him around.
If James was giving him a little smack, I think he'd enjoy it. I mean, he did like it in what was it, Act 2? James smacked him in the face. And he just stood there like, whoa.
Nice.
Do it a little harder, honey.
Sorry, that was my bad. Do you want to do it again?
A little harder, honey. A little harder. Just.
Let's go again. I'm fine. Like, guys. Oh man!
So we're saying that
I love the term.
We're saying that James is definitely a bottom.
No, Oliver's
I'm sorry,
the
not.
bottom.
I didn't mean Oliver. I keep mixing them up for some reason.
100%. Yeah. He's definitely the bottom here.
Oh
yeah. You know what? Oh gosh, never mind.
No.
Anyway.
I want to know.
I was just thinking, I don't know how he's having a grand time with Meredith, because I feel like she wants to be dominated too. You know what I mean? She was with Richard, but she says that she likes him because he's nice and thoughtful. Okay,
she might
Meredith.
like him because he's
he
gentle.
is, sort of.
I don't know.
Yeah. She just wants somebody to cuddle her right now is really what it is.
Yeah.
She just doesn't want to think about anything. But... So after this,
I don't know. It's cringy. The whole sex thing for them is cringy.
I agree. It doesn't feel genuine in any way.
No.
I agree with that. But after this, he wakes up to Philippa on his bed.
On Meredith's bed.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Meredith is gone.
Am I naked?
And yeah, he's the whole time, this whole conversation, he's like, I might be naked. Am I naked? How can you not feel if you're naked? I'm just saying.
Put a hand down there and see. It's not that hard.
I think I would know immediately if I was naked, but he did just smoke some crazy drugs. And we don't know what that was, guys.
2 days ago.
And maybe he's tucked in real well.
Maybe he was tucked in. Swaddled like a baby.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I don't know. He's just coming out of it,
I also...
But that's what hands are for. Stick them down there and see.
I also
Just
don't
saying.
understand why Philippa didn't understand that he might be naked because he's
Yeah.
in Meredith's bed.
Yeah. I don't think Philippa cared. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Oliver cared. I don't think Philippa gave a fuck.
No.
At the end, she was like, are you naked? Ugh.
Yeah. She's just like, all right. But she basically confronts him and is like, listen, I know you don't want to talk to him, but if anyone's going to forgive him, it's going to be you. All of us are upset at him. You have to talk to him. And she seems to be implying here, you know why you have a special connection.
I thought...
He says something along the lines of how is she seeing into my head right now? Almost implying that she knows something about his feelings for James,
I thought this was incredibly unfair. to Oliver.
Why is that?
Because he's having a moment where he's mad at James for the first time.
Yeah.
And he really wants to marinate in his anger. That was the feeling that I got, was that he wanted to marinate in it. And she's like, you need to fix the friendship because you're the only one who's going to be willing to do it.
I do think Philippa's right, but I think that she's right because they are crashing out. Like, James is crashing the fuck out, and the only person that's gonna fucking fix it is Oliver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but at the same time, I do think it's still incredibly unfair to Oliver.
I don't know if it's necessarily unfair. I see what you're saying, that, like, he has every right to be upset, but I don't think she's telling him... I don't think she's necessarily saying, like, you can't be angry or you can't feel upset at him. I think it's more that, like, we cannot be falling apart. Like, this is self-preservation.
And, yeah, that's why it's unfair. I'm not saying she's being wrong or that it's a situation in which they need to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
And the responsibility of that is being put on Oliver, the person who was literally just hurt. Mm-hmm. And so while it sucks, I think it's still unfair. It's the right thing to do, but it's still unfair.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think maybe in her eyes, she's thinking more along the lines of suck it up and do this now versus being put in jail. Not that he wasn't already, but at that point he wasn't. And
I'm sure.
You know,
I'm sure.
But
life is unfair.
I mean, it sucks that it had to be that way. And it sucks that he didn't get to take the time to be angry and to come back to James when it was something he wanted to do.
Yeah. And I do agree.
When he heads up and talks to James, I seriously thought that scene was going to end with them, like, fucking.
Same.
Right.
And honestly, offended that it didn't.
Yeah, I was like, well, this is disappointing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh my God, kiss or something. Come on.
At least a kiss. Something.
Come on. Like, stop fucking lying about it to yourselves. I mean, I think Oliver literally is like, I want to fucking hate you right now and I can't. And then he says something like, what is it about you? He literally says those words. What is it about you? It's because you guys...
If there was a time for hate sex or angry sex or...
Yeah.
Yes. This was it.
Yeah.
But
I feel Oliver, though. Like, wanting to fucking hate someone so much, but you can't because you love them so much. That feeling sucks.
Yeah. I've also been there.
I just feel for Oliver. And but you can tell in this conversation with James that he's like, I think James wants Oliver to be upset. Like, he's like, yes, I deserve it. Take it out on me. You have every right to be upset. And I should be the one that's apologizing. And he says something like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I want to hurt the whole world. And the only thing I want to do right now is be like one of those roles, you know, Edmund or...
Yeah. And I've been there too in James's position where I've been hurt so bad that I want to hurt the world back.
Yeah.
And it is frustrating not to be able to go through with that and hold it in and and feel like nobody understands you.
Yeah. I wish Oliver had unleashed on him a little bit more, but I don't know that would have helped the situation in any way.
The only way it's gonna... I mean, James needs to start opening up. He is isolating himself even from the people who know what he's going through.
Right.
And it's just making it worse.
Yeah. And we end with this weird, like, they're like face to face. James's hand is on his upper chest. And I'm like, what is happening right now? I was just like, no kiss, no, we're just gonna end in this weird, okay, all right.
We're just gonna cuddle like friends.
Yeah. Okay.
Cuddle buddies.
It's not like friends. That's like what happens right before you kiss.
Literally.
Cuddle buddies.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like, the sexual tension is foggy in the room. It's clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then they just end it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I feel like after this, it took me right out of it. Like, I was like, I would rather the act have ended on them.
It is a little bit of a blue ball moment.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
I feel like it just kind of messed up the rest of it. They were like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's painful.
The next scene, we get Alexander having an overdose, and I was like, is it an overdose, or did he just try to commit suicide? And
perhaps both.
I was like, I kind of wish they hadn't told us already that Alexander survived and that he was doing well or whatever, because it did kind of take the urgency out of the scene.
I get what you're saying. I saw your note on that. I agree on that sense, but I also think that there's this impending sense of like everything is going to shit.
Collapse.
Yeah.
An impending sense of collapse. And the fact that the school only now decided to implement counseling is fucked up. Like, they should have done that the second they found the body. Like, we need to get these kids in counseling now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and just kind of jumping ahead a little bit, although I think it pertains to this, why the fuck would you have it where when something like that happens and then you send the rest of them back to live in the same place where they lived before? Why wouldn't you move them somewhere else?
Yeah.
Just even for a different scenery so that they don't have those same memories. I just thought that was so weird to do that.
Yeah.
Not many steps were taken to help them re-enter normally into school. And I think maybe some of that is the time period. Like, it used to be that we didn't have all of these measures that we now take to understand people's understanding of grief and how they work through mental challenges and mental illness. But I definitely agree that, like, the school didn't give a fuck about these kids or how they handled it. They just threw them back into classes and they said, oh, and also we still want you to do everything you were already doing, just without Richard.
Yeah.
I think it was worse that they don't give a fuck. It was, let's use this to fuck them up even more.
Yeah, and they continue to mess with them. They said, we're going to also, like, move all your roles around, and then we're going to have all of you do these weird scenes together, even though you now hate one another. And you have all this tension between each other, Meredith and James. And we're going to use that for your performances. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like Gwen's psychological assessment of James and Meredith.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, they seem so much more complicated than that. And then
I agree.
It got wound down to you want every guy to like you, and he doesn't. So that's why you're obsessed with him, and you have dirty thoughts about her, and you don't want to. So that's why you hate her.
Yeah, I don't like that at all, because I feel like real people are more complex than that.
Yeah. Although, after that kiss and whatnot, and Oliver's reaction, I was like, why? Or during the kiss, I was like, why am I picturing them? I think that they would be good as a threesome.
No. Oh my God.
No.
Yeah, no. I was like, if James supposedly is having dirty thoughts about her and he's angry about that, he could have Oliver and Meredith and boom, problem solved with the jealousy.
I don't think Oliver could do that.
Yes.
I think Oliver doesn't have the ego to do that. Or the confidence to do that.
Yes. You have Zodiac Academy brain. And Zodiac Academy brain coming in there. This is, I don't think Oliver could handle James and Meredith.
Mm-mm. No.
Probably not.
He can barely handle Meredith. I mean, anyway. I do think that Oliver is starting to unravel completely. The scene when Alexander is, he overdoses and is taken to the hospital. He runs out at the end of that scene into the forest and just, like, screams. He just runs into the forest, falls on his hands and knees, and he's just, like, having a breakdown. And then after he sees James and Meredith kiss, it's a similar reaction where it's just like, I have to fucking get out of here. I can't fucking look at this. Like, I can't do this.
Sometimes having a moment where you just scream out all your frustrations is so wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that, but don't go into a forest full of animals and scare the shit out of them like that. Go into a people-populated area and do that shit.
Oh my God.
Well, if you do it in a people-populated area, you're likely to get the police called on you. So
he is not doing well. He is not doing well. He runs into Frederick's office at the end of the act, and
well, isn't that the next class?
Yeah.
And
that was creepy.
Yeah, nobody showed up for that class. Everybody was after Gwen. They were like, "Fuck that shit! I'm not going to class. I'm out."
Dude, I don't blame them.
But did it not feel really weird? Like Frederick somehow set it up. I thought he was slipping him something, or I don't know. Frederick was acting like creepy.
I think Oliver is just losing it. I think that the whole scene is just him not being able to comprehend what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It is weird, but I think it's Oliver like spiraling out.
Oh yeah. He's definitely like falling apart.
Yeah. And his reaction to Meredith and James to me is confusing because it's like, is he disgusted because it's the two people he's interested in? Is he disgusted because he likes watching them? I don't know what the reaction there is about, but he's having too many feelings.
James is his best friend.
Yeah.
Who he's jealous of. Meredith is his girlfriend in a way. And if the two of them get together, he has no one. He loses both people.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because he feels like he has to pick. I don't know. But Act 4 leaves me confused. It leaves me really confused.
Yeah.
Yes.
It moved forward a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Did it?
But not enough. We found the bloody cloth.
Yeah, not much. Not much is... All that happens in this is everyone losing it.
Right. I feel like I'm no closer to guessing the end than I was at the beginning of this act.
Yeah.
I'm still pretty sure it was James. But as far as like, was it an accident that got covered up? Or was it an intentional, like, you hurt Rin, I'm coming after you? Or...
I do think...
Maybe...
Go ahead.
Maybe James found him while he was in the water, and then Richard had a reaction and then hit him. I don't know. We'll see.
Now I'm picturing James and Richard in the water, like slowly dying, and it's before everybody else has come, and James is like fucking with him with like a stick, like boop, boop.
And he said, taking that and that. I do think that there's something weird going on with James, and that obviously we're going to learn what is up with him in Act 5. But I do think there's some stuff going on with everyone else, too. So I think we're going to wrap it up next episode. And I am excited to hear you guys' thoughts at the end. What did you feel wasn't answered? What did you feel was, was good about it or not good about it? So I think we're going to wrap it up pretty quickly next episode.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll end it there. We hope that you'll join us for next week's episode. We'll be discussing If We Were Villains Act 5. New episodes drop each week, and don't forget to check out last season's discussion on the Bride duology, available now.
Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow us on social media. That like and follow are super important for us to continue to bring you new episodes each week, so please, please, please do so. You can also support us by joining us on Patreon. Thank you for listening to the Midnight Readers podcast. We'll see you next week.
Happy reading, listeners. Don't stay up too late.